Chapter 6. Heil. Honk. Wagon 2. The walk was 4 miles of grueling silence, broken only by the scuff of Bopo's boots and the distant, mournful whistle of the wind through skeletal trees. The Heartland Museum of Military Vehicles might have been more impressive a few weeks ago. But now it wasn't much to look at. The apocalypse, the bombs, perhaps scavengers had done a number on it. It was a squat, windowless brick building, with a faded American flag hanging limp from a pole. An M4 Sherman tank sat sentinel on a concrete slab out front, its cannon aimed at a sky the color of dishwater. Getting in was anticlimactic. The glass of the main entrance doors had been shattered, leaving a gaping hole that welcomed them into the cavernous interior. The air inside was still and heavy, smelling of old oil and decay. Hulking metal beasts stood in silent rows, jeeps, armored cars, and personnel carriers, all frozen in time. Across the 4-lane highway, the white and blue of a massive Walmart beckoned. "You're the mechanic," Tippy said, her voice echoing slightly in the vast space. "You see what you can salvage here. Mr. Pips and I will do a supply run." She patted the little monkey on the head, and he chittered, tightening his grip on his yellow and blue revolver. "We'll be faster together." Bopo nodded, his gaze already drifting over a helicopter in the corner. "Be careful, Tip. That place looks like it's been hit hard." "Always am," she replied with a small smile, and then she and Mr. Pips were gone, 2 small, colorful figures jogging across the derelict interstate. Left alone, Bopo felt the weight of the steel giants around him. He ran a hand over the cold flank of a tiger tank. Useless. Too big. Too slow. He wasn't even 100% sure what kind of fuel it drank. He moved on, popping hoods, checking engines. A lot were in terrible shape. Cracked blocks, missing parts, mostly show models. Pretty on the outside, but not functional on the inside. A lot of the jeeps and ambulances were in working order, but he wanted something with a little more protection. What with his family along for the ride and all. Discouragement began to curdle in his gut. This was a fool's errand, a long shot that was coming up empty. Then he came to the 1942 German SDKFC 251. It was an ugly, angular thing, a troop carrier built by fascists for a war that felt like ancient history. But its armor was thick. Its tires, though flat, were solid, and the treads looked intact. He pried open the engine compartment. It was dusty, but the majority of the core components seemed to be there. He could jerry-rig the rest of what he needed. A carburetor he could pull from a Korean War ambulance, a fuel pump from a World War II American Jeep. The parts weren't a perfect match, but with his father's unwanted lessons rattling in his head, he knew he could make them work. Hope, greasy and smelling of gasoline, sparked in his chest. Atop the armored cockpit was a pintle-mounted machine gun, a grim-looking MG-42, which gave him a shiver. He didn't know if they could find ammo for it, but just the sight of it might scare off some raiders. An hour later, Tippy and Mr. Pips returned. Tippy's backpack was noticeably fuller, and Mr. Pips was proudly carrying a can of spray cheese. "It was mostly picked clean," she announced, dropping her pack with a thud. "But I found a few gems." She pulled out several cans of spray paint, canary yellow, bubblegum pink, sky blue, and more, along with several fluffy pillows and a bolt of rainbow-striped canvas. "Any luck on your end?" Bopo couldn't suppress his grin. He wiped a streak of grease from his forehead with the back of his hand and jerked a thumb toward the German half-track. "Meet the honk wagon, too. She's ugly, but she's solid. I can get her running. It'll take some work, but I can do it." Tippy ran her hand over the armored death machine. "She's ugly now, but not for long," she said with a laugh, shaking a can of spray paint. While Bopo labored, his large hands surprisingly deft as he cannibalized parts and jury-rigged connections, Tippy set to work on their new home. The harsh, militant gray of the half-track's armor vanished under her ministrations. She painted a giant clown face on the forward armor plate. The iron crosses and swastikas on the side were quickly covered in enormous, cheerful pink and blue polka dots and rainbow tie-dye. The transformation was so absurd, it was brilliant. She and Mr. Pips then tackled the troop bay, sweeping it out and lining the hard metal benches with the pillows and fabric she'd salvaged. She even found a box of ammo for the machine gun and small toolbox in the museum's back room, and used the tools to rig the rainbow canvas over the top of the open bay, creating colorful cover that would shield them from the elements. It was no longer a war machine. It was a rolling, armored circus tent. By late afternoon, Bopo was ready. "Okay," he grunted, wiping his hands on his overalls. Moment of truth. He climbed into the driver's seat. Tippy and Mr. Pip scrambled into the back, peering over his shoulder. He turned the key. The engine sputtered, coughed a plume of black smoke, and died. "Come on, you rust bucket," Bopo muttered, trying again. The starter groaned, whined, and then caught. The engine roared to life with a deafening, throaty rumble that shook the entire museum. Bopo laughed, a deep, booming sound of pure triumph. He slammed the half-track into gear, and with a lurch and a clatter of treads, the honk wagon too rolled forward, crashing through the remains of the museum's glass doors and out into the fading light of the afternoon. It was loud. It was garish. It was ridiculous. And it was theirs. They were heading out again.